Hi, hello everyone. कैसे है मेरा प्यारा बच्चा लोग? हाँ, hi to all my warriors. I hope you all had an amazing weekend, and I also think that you all have learned and prepared for your upcoming board examination, JEE examination, and any examinations, right? So yes, this is Ameer, your physics educator at Unacademy, and jaldi se jaldi, तुरंत से तुरंत बता, am I audible and visible in the chat box, everyone? With full of energy. I want the entire energy in the chat box, and you want to show me how excited you all are for learning this particular topic of, which is the topic for today's session, everyone. Everyone, let me know what is the topic for today's session. I'm not going to tell you. Let me see how many of you have gone through the title of this classroom before you coming. Hi Kanaya, present. Very good. Sangamitra Pal. So looking into the energy, I do think that I'm audible and visible to everyone in the classroom. Right, hi Shishir. Okay, very good, very good. Thank you so much for updating the topics. Hi Ani, Pal, Harsh, Miara. Yes, Sugamana, Miara. So tell me, how are you all doing? How was the weekend? Jaldi se bata, update me, because I had an amazing weekend. I could meet all my friends. It was amazing. So I hope you can see that from my face, with that happy face. है ना? It is rotational motion. It is rolling motion. भूल गया क्या? So today, in today's class, we are going to talk about rolling motion. Okay, I don't think you have learned this topic of rolling motion in your previous classes. So it is very much necessary to give your complete concentration for the next 1.5 hours to this entire class. Can you all give that 100% of concentration to the classroom? कर सकता है क्या आप लोगों को? जल्दी बता. हाँ. If you can say yes, or whoever can say yes, I'll make sure that if a question pops up from this rolling motion for your JEE or the board exam, you are going to solve that particular question. I can assure you that. If you do trust me, be with me for the next 1.5 hours. We are gonna learn rolling motion, and I hope you all are ready for it, right? Yes, Anurag, Pal, Miara, Prateek. Very good, very good. This is the energy I want throughout the session. So whoever is seeing me for the very first time, this is all about me. I have an experience of more than 3.5 years in the field of teaching JEE, NEET and board students. BTech graduate from an IT Calicut, and I taught many students, and yes, they all are happy, just like you all are doing right now. Now, I just want to update you regarding the schedule, right? So there is a slight changes in my schedule. Those who was following my classes, we'll be having our regular classes on 27th and 28th, which means Monday and Tuesday we'll be having classes. Wednesday we won't be having classes because we are going to start with what? A batch is going to start, which means Unacademy in the platform, a batch is going to start on Wednesday. So I'll update you regarding that later. And then we are having the next class on Thursday. And on Friday's topic, you can see some amazing things here. What you can see? देख ले. So I know that many of you are having still trouble with learning laws of motion, right? So on 1st of October, which is Friday, from 8 p.m, right, for continuously 3 to 4 hours, we'll be taking the class on what? Laws of motion. The entire chapter revision we are going to do. What we are going to do? Entire chapter revision of laws of motion we will be doing on which day? On Friday. And obviously at 6:30 you can see a mega formula Mendy. So come and learn the laws of motion without any doubt, because after this revision class you should be so thorough with the chapter of laws of motion. Fine. Okay. Then moving on. You all know how amazing all the teachers are here in Unacademy class 11th and 12th. You would love to attend their live classes, isn't it? And you don't want to miss any of them. If you don't want to miss any of them, you need to get the alerts and notification. And from where will you get? In the Telegram channel. Link is here. Jaldi se aa jaiye. Okay. So we all are expecting every one of you. So don't you think this is the right time for everyone to start learning with Unacademy, so that you can make your dream come true? That's why we have made a scholarship test for you, and whoever is getting a very good mark for this, right, what will happen? You can come and be a part of Unacademy for completely free. Isn't it amazing? I think so. If I was a student, I would have enrolled right now, just like that. I'll talk about an Unacademy subscription platform for like 2 minutes, then we'll start with our classes of rolling motion. Okay. Now, you know that everything, most of the content are available in YouTube nowadays, right? Then why we all teachers ask you to be a part of Unacademy platform? It's very simple, because we all educators will be teaching with a proper schedule, targeting the examinations such as JEE exam, NEET exam and the board examination. So whenever we teach, we'll make sure that all the topics taught in the classroom are in order, right? So that you can track all the topics that you have covered. So क्या हो जाएगा? हाँ, the learning process is gonna be super simple, and once the learning simple हो जाएगा, you can spend and learn lot much of things. You can do more multiple choice question. Your knowledge will increase, and obviously the output will also increase. मतलब हाँ, आपका mark will also be increasing to a very high level. Then top educators of the country are already there with the Unacademy platform. So if you start learning with them, you can get so much of mentoring and advices. What is so special about this? Because they have been seeing all these question patterns and everything for many years. They know how the questions are going to come. So don't you think it will be an amazing opportunity for every one of you to learn with them? Right? You just want to follow them so that you'll get to know how the questions are going to come. Right? Once you know, you just learn it accordingly. आपका मार्क भी अच्छा हो जाएगा. Wow, that's so amazing. Study materials will be given to you. Practice tests and live test series will make you super duper confident and will bring the best out of you. For all these amazing features, you should be going for the Plus subscription, and as you can see, for 12-month subscription, it will cost you how much? 1,250 per month. Will Ameer sir, will he allow you to pay that much of money? बिल्कुल नहीं, क्योंकि उतना प्यार है आप लोगों से. ठीक है. So yes, we have the code AMB10. Use this and get 10% of discount whenever you make any subscription, right? And I know that, sir, we need so much. We need बहुत ज़्यादा features. We need so much of features while we learn with Unacademy. Those people should go for Iconic. You'll get all the features which I have explained before for Plus subscription, plus some extra features such as personal mentor, which means someone will be assigned to you to help you how to make the schedule, what to be learned, and how to prepare you for examinations. Everything this person will be there, which means आधा headache तो गया आपसे. Then live doubt solving classes will be there, which will help you clear all your doubts. We teachers will be coming like. That's an amazing thing. Weekly reports and these kind of many amazing super features are there with Iconic subscription. And if you're going for 12-month subscription, how much will it cost you? 2,333 बस. And हाँ, पूछ ले, sir, हमको चाहिए discount, तो ले ले. So it is AMB10, get 10% of discount. Don't forget, keep it right next to your heart, right? Okay, so this is all about it. And I think this will be the best time for every one of you to make the subscription for Plus or Iconic. Before you can see that for 12 months, extra 4 months will be given to you along with the 10% of discount. Discount के लिए AMB10 use करना भूलिए मत, ठीक है? So yes, it's time for us to start with the classes. Are you all ready? जल्दी बता. Are you all ready to learn with a rolling motion? सर चैप्टर के टॉपिक्स खत्म नहीं हुए हैं. सर चैप्टर खत्म नहीं. अरे tomorrow is our mentee. Today is not our mentee. Tomorrow we have our mentee. Obviously today we'll be completing the chapter. Don't worry at all. मैं हूँ ना. हाँ, ट्रस्ट करता हूँ ना मैं मुझे. अरे मेरा हिंदी तो थोड़ा तो इम्प्रूव हो गया ना. मुझे भी खुश हो रहा. Yes, everyone. Okay. Now everyone keep on telling me, and please do update what are the topics we have completed in our last class, because in our Ameer class we'll always be making a very quick revision and recap of the topics we have completed in last class, है ना? हाँ. In the last class, right, which means it was on Thursday, right, we have completed mainly angular momentum. Angular momentum का formula, L vector is equal to, how many of you do remember? L vector, angular momentum is equal to R vector cross the P vector, right? एक और formula है angular momentum, L is equal to हाँ I omega, right? I hope you do all remember. So we have learned about what is angular momentum and how to find this out by using these two formulas, and we have done lot many problem also. Then we also have learned about conservation of angular momentum. Tell me, when will the angular momentum be conserved? हाँ, whenever the net torque acting on the body is equal to 0. है या नहीं? हाँ, बोल दे. हाँ sir, बिल्कुल. When the net torque acting on the acting on the body is equal to 0, angular momentum will always be conserved. इसका मतलब क्या है? इसका मतलब है angular momentum L vector will always be a constant. And we can also write the same concept as I1 omega 1 initial angular momentum will be equal to final angular momentum I2 omega 2. At least I hope you do remember this. That ballet dancer rotating, he'll be taking in her hands, so will be rotating with a larger angular velocity. Once she spread her hands, क्या हो जाएगा? हाँ, she'll be rotating with a smaller angular velocity just because of the concept of angular momentum. है ना? Okay. So I hope you all have got what are the topics we have covered in yesterday's class. थोड़ा refresh भी हो गया ना? हाँ 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 sir, हाँ ये सब हम तो पढ़ लिया था. We all have learned this topic. So let us do a small question from yesterday's topic, and then we are gonna start, yes, our rolling motion. So start reading this question, everyone. Go for it quickly. Shall we, everyone? A child is standing with folded hands at the center of a platform rotating about its central axis. ठीक है. Child ऐसे, he is rotating, just like almost like the concept of what? हाँ, our ballet dancer. The kinetic energy of the system is K. It is given here. The child now stretches his arms so that the moment of inertia of the system doubles. Question is, what is the new kinetic energy of the system is? Array, don't look at my face. Everyone start doing. Everyone go for it quickly. Those who want to listen to me, who are having some confusion, yes, let's do it. Others who know the answer, quickly start doing it and give me the answer in the chat box. Jaldi se jaldi, theek hai? Okay, so here we go. First, let us say that the particle, which means or the boy or the child, was having an moment of inertia I and an angular momentum of omega, which means initial. Initially, this was the case with that person. Now, shall I write the initial kinetic energy also? Kar le. Half I omega square, right? ठीक है. So these are the things given. I just have written the same thing down. The question is, what is the new kinetic energy of the system is? If I write K2 as the new kinetic energy, how can I write the formula for the new kinetic energy as half the new moment of inertia omega 2 square. Now you might have at least understood what we have to find, right? We want to find out K2. For finding out K2, we want to have an idea about I2 and omega 2. Start looking into the question. It is given that the moment of inertia of the system doubles, which means the new moment of inertia I2 is equal to 2 times the initial moment of inertia that is given. Okay, so I2 we got an idea, omega 2 we don't have an idea. How many of you have an idea to find the value of omega 2? Soch le. Soch le, when he is folding or whenever he is stretching his hand, is there any external torque acting on the body? Huh? बिल्कुल नहीं, कुछ नहीं, है ना? Which means, yes, the angular momentum of the system is conserved. So I can write I1 omega 1 is equal to I2 omega 2. Any problem in doing this? नहीं है ना? Start substituting. What is I1 and omega 1? We have taken it as I omega is equal to I2. How much is it? 2 times I. बस हो गया. Omega 2. है ना? From here won't we get omega 2? हाँ बिल्कुल, I तो cancel कर ले. Omega 2 is omega divided by 2. Done, done, done. इतना ही है. Now if you have got till here और कुछ नहीं करना, you just need to substitute. कर ले. हाँ, half I2, 2I. And omega 2, just now we have omega 2 is omega by 2. So omega 2 square is omega by 2 the whole square. So ये कितना हो गया? Half 2I omega square by 4. 2, 4. So this is half I omega square into 1 by 2. 2 by 4, 1 by 2. Have you seen this ever before? हाँ इधर. Have you seen that ever before? Isn't that the initial kinetic energy? Yes or no? So K2 is equal to k by 2. मिल गया तो मिल गया, आंसर तो मिल गया. बोल दे, समझ में आ गया क्या? Everyone, very good Shreya Kumari, amazing. Very good, Vaishnavi Pal. Very good. Yes, Preeti, k by 2 is the answer. बढ़िया बात है. अरे और क्या शिशिर, भरोसा कर ले अच्छे सा. So now I think it's time for rolling motion. Ready है तो बता. Ready है तो बता. Because whenever you say ready, it is your responsibility to give me the 100% of concentration in the classroom. Yes, k by 2. Yes, Sankamitra. Yes, you all are correct. Sira Myara itself. Okay. Very good. What happened to your old name, Vaishnavi? Okay. So everyone is ready. So, शुरू करें. धमाका तो शुरू करें. देख ले. Rolling motion. Tell me what we were learning till now. Which means throughout the entire physics, starting from the very first chapter, don't consider units and dimension chapter. After that, from one-dimensional motion, what all we were learning? We were learning about basically two kinds of motion. First one is the translational motion, as you can see in the figure. Can you see? Okay, not this one. Okay, we are having a ring, right? This is what we call it as translational motion, the linear motion or the motion of a body whenever we apply a force to the body, right? After translational motion, we have learned about what? The rotation. अरे कहाँ गया? Rotation वापस आ जा. Rotation वापस आ जा. It will come right now. Okay, give me 2 seconds, or let us give this figure 2 seconds. So translation motion आपको समझ में आ गया. Now can you see the rotation motion? Yes. That rotation motion and this translational motion, if you combine to the body, what we are having is a rolling motion. Understood? This rolling motion is making a translational motion from one point to another point. Let's say from A to B, right? While it is making a translational motion or a linear motion, it is also rotating about its own axis. Isn't it rotating? Yes. So these two combined motion, if it is there in a body, what you can have is this rolling motion. So what is the definition of rolling motion? It is a combination of translational motion and the rotational motion. समझ में आ गया? छोटी सा, छोटू सा. हाँ? Isn't it a simple chotu sa concept? Yes. So this is entirely about rolling motion. The combination of translational and the rotational motion of a body is what we are calling it as rolling motion, which you can simply see in the figure. Okay. Now, you should also be understanding how the terms are related to this rolling motion. थोड़ा difficult हो जाएगा, but once you're ready to concentrate, आसानी हो जाएगा. Okay. Now, we understood that this rolling motion है ना, usually the motion of a tire, how the vehicles of a tire, it will be making a translational motion ऐसे, which means a linear motion. Along with that, the tires will also be rotating. So that is called as rolling motion. I think whatever you might have seen, most of the examples are for rolling motions only. ठीक है. Now you understood what is rolling motion. That's not a thing now. We have to see how the velocities and accelerations are distributed on a rolling motion. Shall we? हाँ, देख ले. So we will start from the basics for understanding what is rolling motion. We have a sphere here. क्या है हमारा साथ? We have a sphere. अरे क्या हो रहा है इधर? Okay, देख ले. So we have a sphere. This sphere, without rotating, it is making a translational motion, which means this sphere is being dragged along the surface and we are taking to a point 2. So from 1 to 2. If this is the motion, right, won't it be having a velocity for the center of mass? Can I write? If this is the velocity of the center of mass, when it is making a translational motion or a linear motion, what will be the velocity at this point? Jaldi se bata. What will be the velocity at the top of that particular body, which is undergoing translational motion? jaldi bata. Everyone. If the center of mass is having a velocity which we write it as VCM, what is the velocity of this topmost point going to be? Anyone? Jaldi. Nobody is having any answer? Nobody has the answer? Yes, very good Anupam. This is what I was talking. Very good. Right? Let's say I am running. Okay. My center of mass is having a velocity of V. What is the velocity of my head? Array, my head is also moving along with my body. So all the particles will be having the same velocity. Yes or no? Yes. So this will also be having VCM. This will also be having VCM. All the particles will be having the same velocity, and that itself is the definition of what? Translational motion. ठीक है? Done. Keep it right here. Done. Now let us talk about the rotational motion. Particle is rotating. Let's say that this is rotating in this clockwise direction. ऐसे rotate कर रहा है. It is not moving forward. Okay. It is just rotating ऐसे rotate कर रहा है. ठीक है. Now tell me, what are going to be the velocities, the linear velocities at each point, let's say at the point A, at the point B, and at the point C. What are the velocities going to be? How will you find the velocity? How will you find the direction of velocity? Tell me that. Draw a tangent to its path, right? At this point, draw a tangent to its path. ऐसे rotate कर रहा है. And what is the velocity here? Draw a tangent. So V. Is there any relationship between linear velocity when a particle rotates like this and omega? We have learned. Jaldi. Linear velocity V is equal to R omega. Yes or no? So this V will be equal to R omega. This V will be equal to R omega. Magnitude, you can see that it's simply the same, but what is different? What is different? Yes, the direction is only different, which gives a different velocity, but the magnitude remain the same at each and every point. This is how the velocities are distributed for rotational motion, and this is how the velocity is distributed for translational motion. Now tell me, or let us see how the velocity is going to be distributed for a particle which is undergoing rolling motion. Rolling motion matlab this particular sphere, right, will be moving from this point to a forward point with a velocity of how much? VCM for the center of mass. At the same time, this will also be rotating with an angular velocity of omega. Understood till here? Now let us start giving the velocities at each and every point. Jaldi se. At the point A, tell me, at the point A, how many velocities will be associated? How many velocities will be associated? 2. One is because of what? One is because of the translational motion, VCM. Let us use another color. Okay. Is that the only velocity? No. We also have a rotational linear velocity V, which is having a value of R omega. How many velocities there at this point? 2. What about this point? Let's say the point B. How many velocities? Jaldi. 1 because of translational velocity value VCM, and 1 dekh le because of rotation, that is R omega. Okay, tell me, at the bottommost point, rotating like this, so rotational velocity in which direction? ऐसे R omega, and because of translational we have a velocity of VCM. Is it clear till this part? Is it clear? Right? Is it clear? Yes, everyone is updating that. Sir, there is 2 velocities at each and every point which you have marked. That is so amazing. Yes, Pal, Anurag, very good, very good. So happy that you are taking this chapter so seriously. Yes, very good, Vaishnavi. And everyone, please note down each and everything. This is the only way you can understand how the velocity is distributed for a rolling motion. Hi, Sasta. Okay. Now, these are the velocity distributions, right? What will be the total velocity here? at the topmost point, which is marked as A, it is equal to VCM because of translational motion plus R omega. Yes or no? We will add up these two velocities. Here we have a velocity of center of mass towards right minus R omega is in the opposite direction. So VCM minus R omega at the bottommost position. Here you are having two velocities VCM and R omega perpendicular to each other. Either ka velocity will be root of two vectors perpendicular to each other. How will you find resultant? Root of A square plus B square. Here root of, yes, VCM square plus R omega the whole square, right? So this is the velocity distribution for a rolling motion. Okay, idhar tak clear hai? Because we are gonna move to another part, another level. Koi gadbad nahi, bilkul अच्छी से, with a smile on your faces. Okay, so I hope you all have copied this down. I'll give you 5 seconds for every one of you to copy this. जल्दी से copy कर ले. I hope you can see this part. Okay, done. Okay. Moving on. Now we are not just going to learn about rolling motion. Let us learn about pure rolling motion. I don't think you can see it from there. Okay. Now we are going to learn about pure rolling motion. I'll explain you when can you call a rolling motion as a pure rolling motion. Sun le. Okay. I'm keeping my pen there. Tell me. You have one of my palm. Okay. Other palm. Can everyone see? Yes. Okay. Now, if both of my palms are moving with the same velocity, is my palms sliding one over the other? No. So I can make a statement that if both the surfaces in contact are having the same velocity, they will not be sliding each other. Yes or no? And when will it be sliding? When one surface is having a different velocity compared to the other. Let me say that my upper arm is having a larger velocity. What will happen? It will be moving faster. It will be sliding over the other surface. Yes or no? So this is great. Understood? Now, a rolling motion is said to be pure whenever there is no motion between the surfaces in contact, whenever there is no sliding between the surfaces in contact. And when will this happen? Pure rolling motion when there is no sliding between the surfaces in contact. And ye kab ho jayega? When can we have a no sliding condition? When two surfaces, sun le, when two surfaces, once again, when two surfaces have same velocity. Okay, when both the surfaces are having the same velocity, no sliding, such kind of rolling motions are called as pure rolling motion. Shall we look into this entire concept once again? We already have learned or written right how the velocity is actually distributed on a body which is undergoing a rolling motion. Yes or no? Yes. Now we are not drawing or writing all the velocities happening. Let us look only to this bottom surface. Let's call it as O. Do you remember which all were the velocities associated at the bottom point? Yes. There is a velocity towards right, which is the velocity because of its translational motion VCM. Then because of rotation, there is a velocity in the opposite direction, which is R omega. Yes or no? Now tell me, for this particular surface, which means for this particular sphere, which is rolling on this particular ground, if it doesn't want to slide over this particular ground, what should be the condition to be satisfied? Both should be having the same velocity, which means the sphere and this particular ground should be having the same velocity. Tell me, अच्छे से देखकर बता, what is the velocity of the ground? Ground का velocity कितना? हाँ, whatever is the ground you are standing, उसका velocity कितना? 0. So what should be the velocity of this point of the sphere which is touching the surface should also be? Yes, velocity of sphere at the point O should be equal to velocity of the ground, which should be equal to 0. Arey, I know that what you all are thinking. Sir, the body is undergoing a rolling motion. It is actually making a motion. Then how the velocity at a particular point can be 0? देख ले, it is only possible when these two velocities acting on the sphere at this point O is having the same magnitude. Yes or no? Tell me, if VCM is equal to 5, is R omega is also equal to 5? They are equal and opposite. If they have the same value, what happens? They will get cancelled, which will be giving a net velocity of 0, which is same as the velocity of the ground. Hai ya nahi? Hai ya nahi? Yes. So for the body to be under pure rolling motion, the velocity of this sphere should be equal to velocity of the ground, should be equal to 0. And when is this possible? When is this possible? Whenever the R omega value is equal to velocity of the center of mass. Isn't it? समझ में आ गया? समझ में आ गया? This can only happen, a pure rolling motion can only happen when the translational velocity of the body is equal to the radius into angular velocity with which it rotates. Very important, super duper, duper ka upar bhi important. Note it down, everyone. Jaldi, 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 jaldi. Jaldi se note kar le. I am telling you, you won't get a question from rolling motion where you don't have to use this concept. Kunal back, lover cute boy back. Good to see you. Lover cute boy, hi, hello. अरे बोल दो ना जरा, समझ में आ गया ये तो समझ में आ गया या नहीं? So what is the condition for a rolling body to be under the case of pure rolling motion? Yes रितिमा, कोई डाउट है तो बता मुझे जल्दी से, मेरा प्यारा बच्चा लोग, कोई डाउट है तो अच्छे से बता. Or if you are all having a smiling face because you have understood the concept, फिर तो बढ़िया ठीक है. Okay, so I don't think कोई doubts नहीं है, everything is clear, है ना? ठीक है, अनुपम, संकेमित्रा, कुणाल, very good. So good to go. Now we all have understood this how a rolling motion can be a pure rolling motion whenever this bottom point of the rolling body is having the same velocity as the ground, here in this case, which is equal to R omega, isn't it? Yes. And one more thing, let me tell you, this pure rolling motion is a uniform rolling motion. Why did I say that this is a case of a uniform rolling motion? Because here we are considering the entire body to be moving with a constant value of omega. Omega is considered to be a constant here, or we have only discussed the case of omega which is having a constant value. If omega is constant, what all will be 0? हाँ, alpha will also be 0. पता है ना ये alpha क्या है? भूल तो नहीं है ना? I hope you didn't forget. Alpha क्या था? हाँ, angular acceleration. Right? So this is a case of uniform pure rolling motion which we have discussed right now. Okay. So I hope you all have noted this down and sab badhiya. So you can see it here also, which is in the printed form. Those who don't like my handwriting can look into this printed form. ठीक है? Okay. Now, one last thing related to this pure rolling motion. We have written how the velocity will be going to be at different points, let's say A, let's say B, and let's say C, in a general rolling motion. Now, if it comes to a pure rolling motion which is uniform, let's see how the velocities are distributed, right? Okay. Here we have, red color kahan hai? Red color kahan hai? Haan. Here we have VCM and R omega. And for this to be pure, just now we have written velocity of Cm should be equal to R omega, which will make velocity at the point C. What is the net velocity at the point C just now? VCM and R omega equal and opposite, cancel. it will be 0. Understood this? We have discussed this. What will be the velocity at the point A? Two velocities it will be associated with. One because of translational, velocity of the center of mass, and one is r omega, the velocity because of rotation, same direction. What will be the total velocity? Vcm plus r omega. And what is Vcm equal to? R omega. So Vcm plus r omega, which is the total velocity at the point A, will be equal to how much? Vcm is r omega plus r omega. This हो गया 2r omega. ये क्या हो गया? 2r omega. Understood? ठीक है? At the point B, mark कर ले velocities. Yes, velocity of the center of mass, which will be equal to r omega. Because of rotation, one more velocity will be there, r omega. Two vectors perpendicular to each other. उत्तर क्या है? How to find the net velocity at the point B? Two vectors, root of a square plus b square, because they are perpendicular. So this is root of r omega the whole square plus r omega the whole square. This is root 2 r omega. मत पूछिए सर इधर से root 2 कहाँ से आ गया? Okay, this is the entire concept related to uniform pure rolling motion. We have written the velocities at each point, how to add the velocity, ये कैसे करना है, वो कैसे करना है, क्वेश्चन ऐसा आ गया तो कैसे करना है, सब मैं बता दिया. Okay, अर्पण R, W and VCM को add क्यों करे और आपने? Okay, someone is asking why I have to add these two velocities. अरे, this is rolling motion. Those who came to the class late, this is the combination of translational plus rotation. So each and every point will be associated with velocities because of translation, or velocity provided by translation, and velocity provided by rotation. इसीलिए हम add कर रहे हैं. ठीक है? So I think whoever have joined late also understood this concept. So one last concept. उसके बाद what is waiting for us? The multiple choice questions are waiting for us. So those who are going to listen to me अच्छे से will do this problem ऐसे. Okay, fine. First we'll do this, then we'll do that part of kinetic energy. ठीक है? So let me see how many of you are super good in mathematics and those who are listening to this rolling motion. कर ले, and let's see who's gonna win. Ameer sir? Yeah? Various. In the figure shown, velocity is equal to the velocity of the center of mass. This is the center of mass, है ना? Velocity of the center of mass is given as 2 meter per second. Okay. Omega is given as 5 radian per second. वो भी दे दिया. And Cp, this है ना, this line. ये Cp is equal to 1 meter. In terms of I and j, find linear velocity of the particle P. मतलब you are supposed to find out the total velocity of the particle P in the vector form of I cap and j cap. इसके लिए क्या करना है? Start marking all the forces, all the velocities acting at the point P. कर ले. Just now I have told you. जल्दी. Or else I'll do now. Shall I? Okay, those who want to listen to me can listen. Those who want to do by themselves can check the answer at the end. At the point P, isn't it undergoing rolling motion? Yes. How many velocities will it be associated? We all know 2. 1, because of the translational motion, same as the direction of velocity of the center of mass. How much? 2. लिख लिया. It is completely in which direction? In the horizontal direction. Then we have rotation. ऐसे rotate कर रहा है in the clockwise direction, है ना? ठीक है. What will be the direction of velocity at the point P? अरे, rotational velocity will always be in the tangential direction. How will you draw a tangent to the point? Draw a perpendicular. अरे, draw a perpendicular to the radius. Tangent is always perpendicular to the radius, है ना? ठीक है. And this radius is 1 meter. Make sure that you are finding out, or you already know the concept that we are finding out the velocity at the point P, not on the surface. So whenever I say radius, it is a radius from the center to the point where we are going to find out the velocity. Okay, good. What is the rotational velocity here? VR, rotational velocity will be equal to formula R omega. R कितना है? R CP 1 into omega कितना? 5. बस. But the final answer has to be in I cap and J cap. So we have to start resolving. कर ले, resolve कर ले. Tell me, if this is 37, how much is this angle going to be? 37. Yes? Okay. How much is this angle going to be? I hope you all can see. This is 37, ये 53. है या नहीं? बोल दे. बोल दो ना जरा. हाँ सर, बिल्कुल बिल्कुल आप जो लिखा है वो बिल्कुल सही है. Now shall I take the component of VR in this direction of x-axis? So this will be which component? This will be VR cos 53. In which direction? I cap. I hope you all can see this, right? Yes. And there will be another component, this component. This will be the away component, which will be sine component. This is VR sine 53 J cap. Bus. So we have marked all the velocities acting at the point P. Now you just want to make it as an equation. Velocity at the point P. First velocity is this 2 because of translational. लिख ले 2 I cap. लिख लिया. Done. VR cos 53 I cap. What was VR? 5 into 1, 5. So this is plus 5. Cos 53 कितना है? What is cos 53? Yes, 3 by 5. 3 by 5. सबको पता है ना? Those who don't know about this 3753. This is 37 degree triangle. This is 53. This is 90. Okay, opposite to 53 we have 4, 3 and 5. So this angle है ना 37, 53 and 90 degree. This is the angle of a right angle triangle of 3, 4, 5. Okay, so by heart this, because you will come across this 53 and 37 in many of the problems. Okay, so VR cos 37 in which direction? I cap direction. Then we have one more component VR, that is 5. Okay, sine 53 4 by 5 into 4 by 5 in which direction? J cap. नीचे है ना तो it comes with the negative sign. हो गया तो हो गया, आंसर भी हो गया, काम भी हो गया. 5 5 कैंसिल कर ले, 3 plus 2 5. बस 5 5 कैंसिल 4J. उत्तर तो मिल गया. इतना ही है. Those who have listened to the entire concept would have given me the answer. ऐसे. Very good, Miara. Yes, 5I minus 4J. Yes, that's the correct answer. Pal, Arpan. Then whom we have? Chandran M. You are from Kerala. ठीक है, मैं भी केरला से. So is the concept clear, everyone? जल्दी से बता. अच्छा, holosphere में दम की height. अरे I don't know Hindi इतना ज़्यादा. Please type in English so that I can understand. So Sankamitra, so सबको समझ में आ गया? Understood the concept of discussing the velocity distribution for a pure uniform rolling motion, everyone? हाँ, so बोल दे with complete confidence. Can you tell that you can do any problem which come from this part? Yes, है ना? बोल दे हाँ सर बिल्कुल हमको कर सकते हैं, हम तो करेगा, बिल्कुल करेगा. ठीक है. Then we will learn about a new concept. With me, है ना? With Ameer sir, everyone. Okay, so here we go. Now we have to learn about the kinetic energy of a rolling motion. Tell me what this rolling motion is actually. A rolling motion is a combination of a rotational motion, है ना? Rotational motion and translational motion. Yes or no? So while you discuss about the kinetic energy of a rolling body, what all will be there? Yes, kinetic energy of rotation plus kinetic energy of translation. बस ये समझने के इतना ज़्यादा दिमाग नहीं चाहिए ना. If a body is having a combination of two motion, kinetic energy will also be associated because of that two motion. बोल दे. Translational motion, linear motion. If I start running with a velocity v, what is its velocity going to be? Half m v square. Bas. If a body is rotating with an angular velocity of omega, uska kinetic energy. जोर से बता, I can't hear you. Yes. हाँ. Half I omega square. So the total kinetic energy of a body which is undergoing rolling motion is equal to half I omega square plus half m v square. This is enough. If you know this, done. If you want to make a thoda rearrangement which you will be seeing in your NCERT book, वो भी हमको कर सकता है. You don't need to by heart anything. इधर से ही कर सकता है. देख ले. Half. What is I? I is moment of inertia. Yes or no? Yes. And what is I equal to? I hope you didn't forget. I is equal to m k square. अरे सर ये k क्या था? What is this k? K. If you don't tell me अच्छे से मिलेगा. हाँ. K का value. K was radius of gyration. भूल गया. हाँ. So I is equal to mk square. Those who forgot, please do go and revise this entire topic because tomorrow हमको Menti quiz. I want every one of you to score good in Menti. So I mk square. Shall I convert omega to v? याद है v equal to r omega which we were writing अभी तक है या नहीं? हाँ. So omega will be equal to v by r. So omega will be equal to v by r. Omega square will be equal to v square by r square plus half m v square. क्या देख सकते हैं आप लोगों को? What you all can see? Sir, we can see an equation. हाँ मुझे भी पता है उसके equation के अंदर. Inside this equation, what you can see? We can see, or can't we see, so many common terms. Half mv square and half mv square. Common terms को if you see क्या करना है? What do you all have to do? Pull कर ले बाहर. So this will be half m v square. Yes. If I take half mv square, what is remaining? कुछ नहीं, बस एक है. 1 plus half m v square. What is remaining? K square by r square. This is it. So the equation is half mv square 1 plus k square by r square. You will see a slight modification of the same equation by multiplying m on numerator and m on denominator. So the other way of equation is half mv square 1 plus what is mk square? I divided by mr square. You can see this set of equation also. So whichever is comfortable for you, वो पढ़ ले. Whichever is comfortable for you, पढ़ ले. Either half mv square 1 plus k square by r square. Multiplying numerator and denominator with m, you will get this formula. बस. Copy it down. 10 seconds. जल्दी. Because next question is waiting for us. हम सबको wait कर रहे हैं क्या? हाँ अगला question wait कर रहे हैं हमको. तो जल्दी से कर ले. जल्दी से जल्दी. So is in case of holosphere we take height of DMS as RD theta because अरे that all things are explained why we do it in the part of what? हाँ moment of inertia. और which one you are talking moment of inertia के बारे में है ना? Okay. So shall we proceed? Any doubts if you have, you can ask me. म्यारा बहुत बड़ी बात है. Okay. Because IPL is not going to give any marks for your examination, तो इधर ही होना चाहिए. तो questions तो कर सकता है ना? Everyone? Yes. Very good. Very good. Okay. ठीक है. तो हम जाएंगे अगले question के लिए. देख ले ना जरा. MCQ क्या करना है? हाँ, give me the option as soon as possible and let me see the variables in the classroom. In the meanwhile, maybe करेगा. I'll also compete. A body of mass m slides down an incline and reaches the bottom with a velocity v. Okay. if the same mass were in the form of a ring which rolled down the same incline, the velocity of the center of mass at the bottom of the plane is. Okay. So this is a simple concept. You don't have to consider that inclined plane or any of the concept related to inclined plane. You just need to think about the equation of kinetic energy here, that's all. देख ले अच्छे से. We have this inclined plane. Okay, and let's say the body is at some height. What is the only energy associated with it? mgh. I think I have told you how important the chapter kinetic energy is everywhere, wherever you go in physics, which means the work energy theorem will always be there. Okay, when the body is at rest, on top of it, the energy associated with it is mgh. What is the first case? M is sliding down. Matlab, it is undergoing a translational motion. It is not rolling. It is not rolling. Let's say this is a box, so that you won't have a doubt in this. This is a box, okay? It is not rolling. ऐसे drag करके it is coming down. It is only undergoing a translational motion. Okay. Tell me, what is the energy conversion going to be? When it is here, it is potential energy, and when it reaches at the bottom, completely it will be converted into kinetic energy. Yes or no? So can we make an equation? बोल दे. हाँ sir, बिल्कुल. So potential energy of mgh is equal to half mv square. This is the equation which you need to make from the very first part of the equation. Second, if the same was in the form of a ring, अरे ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं, give us any shape है ना, because we are various, हमको कर सकता है. And when this ring is also at some height, what is the only energy associated? Potential energy, ring है या वो है या ये है या कुछ भी हो, whenever it is at some height which is not moving, the energy associated is potential energy, formula mgh. ठीक है, which rolls down. So how this ring is coming? Obviously this ring will be coming by rolling down, and we know that roll करके नीचे आ जाएगा. This entire potential energy will be converted as what? Kinetic energy. But there is a change in the equation for kinetic energy here. What's the formula when a body rolls? Half m v dash square, let's say, because this has to be some different velocity. We don't know whether it is same or not. So let us consider it is a different velocity. Inside the bracket 1 plus I divided by mr square. Yes or no? Potential energy हो गया, rolling का kinetic energy बस. So we can write mgh is equal to half mv square 1 plus I divided by mr square. बस. Look into the equation 1. अच्छे से देख ले. Now look into the equation 2. वो भी देख लिया. What do you have as common on the left hand side? mgh. If left hand side of two equations are same. Yes, you are correct. The right hand side of the equation will also be correct. Half mv square is equal to half mv dash है, ठीक है? Half mv dash square, which we don't know, which we need to find out here. 1 plus, what is moment of inertia of a ring? m r square है ना, by mr square. बस हो गया. फिजिक्स तो हो गया और कुछ नहीं, बस मैथमेटिक्स बाकी है. How many of you did till here? जल्दी बोल दे. Many of you? Okay, continuing. Half m cancel, right? V square is equal to v dash square. mr square हो गया 1. 1 plus 1 हो गया 2. So ये हो गया v dash square is equal to v square by 2. Now don't ask me, sir, what is the final answer? मिलेगा मुझे? मुझसे मिलेगा. मुझे नहीं, मुझसे मिलेगा. And I hope that is the correct Hindi. Tell me, what is v dash square is equal to v square by 2? Root ले ले, root ले ले, root ले ले, root ले ले. Option D is the correct answer. बस. How amazing the question was. Question was so amazing because we know the concepts of work, power, energy. हम दोनों, which means we all together learned it, है ना? We know the concepts of kinetic energy of rolling motion. If we know all these concepts, why shouldn't we get the answer? Yes, we are supposed to get the answer and we got it. हाँ शिशिर तो हाँ मैं पढ़ा है V is equal to R omega हो गया half an hour before. Yes Ankamitra. Question अच्छा था अर्पण. Very good. Amazing. म्यारा yes. सबको समझ में भी आ गया. समझ में आ गया तो हाँ खुशी भी आ जाएगा मज़ा भी आ जाएगा. बिल्कुल बढ़िया. Okay, very good, very good, very good. So shall we proceed? हाँ with a smile. अच्छे से smile करके. हाँ जिससे कॉन्सेप्ट मालूम है वो तो कर सकता है. बिल्कुल 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 बिल्कुल. I'm not going to give the answer for this. Everyone, tell me, what is the answer? This is not a single option. This is a multiple option. How many of you can give me the answer for this? After this, we'll start with accelerated rolling motion. How many of you can give me the answer for this? कोई नहीं. Is this the various batch? Is this a student which I used to call as various? मेरा बच्चा लोग, you are awesome. किसी को भी answer पता नहीं? Nobody know the answer. Those who can give me the answer for this. This concept is damn clear to everyone. Then I'll say that this is पक्का clear to everyone in the class. और इतना सोचने की वक्त भी नहीं चाहिए. Okay, then I'll also explain. Okay, so consider a disc rolling without slipping. Rolling without slipping मतलब हाँ pure rolling motion. बिल्कुल सही है. On a horizontal surface, okay, at a linear speed v as shown in figure, which means velocity of the center of mass is v. First option, the speed of the particle at A is 2v. है क्या? Which all velocities are there at the point A? Velocity of translation plus velocity of rotation. What is velocity of translation idhar? Because both of them are in the same direction. Velocity of translation, velocity of rotation. Velocity of translation given as v. What is velocity of rotation? R omega. What kind of a motion it is? Without slipping or pure motion. So pure rolling motion, R omega, and velocity of the center of mass are the same. So it is v plus v, which will give the answer as 2v. First option correct. Okay. The speed of B, C and D are all equal to v. बिल्कुल नहीं है ना? Look at the point B itself. The point B has v in this direction. देख ले. This point B, can you see? It is having a velocity of center of mass towards right. At the same time, it is having a rotational velocity also downward. Two velocities it is associated. So what will be the total velocity? Root of v square plus vt square. Obviously, it is not going to be v. Galat. The speed of point C is 0. This is the simple, what say? The definition for a particle to pure rolling motion. What should be the net velocity here? हमको पता है. Two velocities था. One was r omega, and here it was velocity of center of mass. It has to be cancelled. When they cancel only, it will be pure rolling motion, and then the velocity at the point C will be equal to 0. ये भी correct. The velocity of the point O. O किधर है? O इधर. Is the center point, is it rotating? No. Center is not rotating, है ना? It is only associated with a single velocity. Can you see? Velocity of the centermost point is only associated with a single velocity, which is the velocity of the center of mass, which is equal to v given. Isn't it? Yes or no? Yes. Someone will be telling, sir, why can't it be associated with a rolling velocity or rotational velocity? What was the equation for rotational velocity? R omega. R means the distance to the point from the center. Once you consider the point O, What is the distance to the point O from the sender? अरे वो तो ही sender है, there is no distance. So this will be 0. Another way of explaining, there is no rotational velocity to the center of mass or to the sender point. So velocity of the point O is equal to V. And that of B, it is associated with two velocities. देख ले this point, it is having a V in this direction and a translational velocity of r omega in this direction. Once you add, obviously this is going to be bigger than what velocity at the point O, because it is associated with two velocities. So the speed of O is lesser than that of B. So that is also correct. वो भी correct. Yes, very good. A, C, D option बिल्कुल सही. बिल्कुल सही. Any doubts if anyone is having? बोल दे. नहीं तो हम we are going for accelerated pure rolling motion. कुछ नहीं कुछ नहीं कुछ नहीं. Shishir, we have completed V is equal to R omega at the beginning of this lecture. Please go and check it. Okay, so rest of the question we will be completing after rolling on an inclined plane, which we will also call as what? Accelerated pure rolling motion. Now clear Sankamitra? No doubt Anubham, Harsh? Okay, so dekh le. Now we are going to discuss about accelerated pure rolling motion, which means acceleration भी आ जाएगा थोड़ा 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 और मुश्किल हो जाएगा, but we all are together, we are gonna crack it, right? Like all the time, let's crack it and let's understand this particular concept of, yes, accelerated rolling motion on an inclined surface, which is a rough surface. मतलब there is also friction acting. बहुत सारा चीज़ें होने वाला है. Okay, देख ले. We are going to consider, I am drawing a very good figure so that each and every forces that you mark will be clear to everyone in the classroom. An inclined surface, an angle theta. Okay. I am having a big sphere on top of this inclined surface. Looking here itself, you can simply say that yes, this is going to be an accelerated motion. Why? Because those who learn laws of motion chapter will be completely knowing that a component of the weight will be acting to accelerate this particular body. Yaad hai? Those who don't remember, don't worry, I'll explain. Right? So what we are going to do now is, we are going to find out how this rolling motion can be an accelerated rolling motion, and if it is an accelerated rolling motion, how can it be a pure rolling accelerated motion. So many conditions, don't worry, step by step हम जाएगा and बिल्कुल समझ करेगा. Okay, we are going to understand each and everything. So for understanding whether it is an accelerated rolling motion or not, क्या करना है? We have to mark all the forces which will give you or give us the value for acceleration. कर ले. Tell me, or you tell to yourself. Try recalling which all are the forces acting on this body. First one is its weight mg. Yes or a no? Yes. Now can I take the components of this mg? कर सकता है? हाँ sir, बिल्कुल कर सकता है, क्यों नहीं? These are the two components I am going to take. ये theta है तो I am not going to explain. बहुत बार explain किया in the chapter of laws of motion. This will also be theta. Simple geometry, right? So please do practice those who don't know how this is theta. This will be which component? Mg cos theta. Then this has to be mg sin theta. Yes, there is a downward force acting on this particular body which will drag this body in the downward direction. Yes, there is a possibility of acceleration. Hai ya nahi? Now, can it be a rolling motion with the presence of only this particular component of force, which is mg sin theta? Can mg sin theta rotate this particular body? बिल्कुल नहीं. क्यों? How many of you know that mg sin theta cannot rotate the body? सुन ले. for rotation, there should be a torque. For torque, the formula is R cross F. Force into the distance from the axis of rotation. What is the axis? This itself is our axis, है ना? That perpendicular passing through the center of mass. And mg sin theta is exactly acting at the axial point. So the R value will be 0 into F. So this will be 0, which means no torque is produced. Matlab mg sin theta cannot rotate this body, or it cannot produce a rolling motion. There should be some force. Which is that? This is a rough surface. If it is a rough surface, what will be there? Yes, frictional force will be there. In which direction? In the upward direction. हाँ है या नहीं? बिल्कुल. Right? The body has a tendency to move in the downward direction. A frictional force will be acting in the upward direction for sure. Right? Okay. Now let us find out the total acceleration acting on the body, and we will also find out the conditions for this rolling motion to be a pure rolling motion. Jaldi. How to find out acceleration? We'll write from here. Net force acting on the body should be equal to mass into acceleration. Which are the forces acting? mg sin theta minus frictional force is equal to ma. This is the very first set of equation. Okay, done. So there is a possibility of having an acceleration in the downward direction, right? There will be an acceleration for the center of mass, which will be transmitted to all the points equally. So there is a downward acceleration in the downward direction at all the points for this rolling body. Yes or no? Do you remember the concept for a rolling body to be pure? Yes, there shouldn't be any sliding motion between the surfaces in contact. If there shouldn't be any sliding motion between the surfaces in contact, both should be having the same velocity, and both should also be having the same acceleration also. If one is having a larger acceleration, क्या हो जाएगा? हाँ, one body will slip over the other, or one body will slide over the other, which is not possible if the rolling motion want to be a pure rolling motion. है ना? Yes. Tell me, what is the acceleration of the ground? This inclined surface का acceleration, अरे 0, है ना? Acceleration of the inclined surface or the ground on this particular body is rolling. Tell me, if I mark this point as O, what should be the acceleration of the point O also should be? It should also be equal to 0. Then only we can say that, हाँ, ये rolling motion is pure rolling motion. समझ में आ रहा है? समझ में आ रहा है? समझ में आ रहा है अच्छे से? With a smile. बोल दे, हाँ sir, बिल्कुल. Okay. Now, till wherever I have explained, is there a possibility of this point to be having an acceleration of 0? Nahi. Kyun? Because the force mg sin theta minus f is giving an acceleration in the downward direction. So there has to be a component to provide an acceleration in the opposite and to cancel it to make the acceleration as 0. है ना? Is there such a condition possible? वो हो जाएगा? हो जाएगा या नहीं हो जाएगा? बोल दे. हम किसी कलर यूज करेगा. हाँ, ये कलर है, ब्लू कलर. अच्छे से देख ले, अच्छे से देख ले. Can you see this frictional force? Can you see that frictional force in the upward direction? Yes. Now, can that frictional force rotate the body? I'll show you an example. Okay, I'm showing it with a bottle. I'm holding this particular bottle exactly at the center. Okay, if I give a tangential force ऐसे, okay, look at my pen. If I give a tangential force ऐसे, can it rotate? Yes, it can rotate. Yes or no? So the only force which is providing a torque to that rolling body on that inclined surface है frictional force. So yes, can I write torque is equal to R cross F? है ना? Yes or no? Yes. And what is the R here? What is the perpendicular distance from the axis to the point where the force is applied? the radius of that sphere multiplied by frictional force, and torque can be written as I alpha. Bas. Tell me, if there is a rotation happening to the body, if there is a rotation happening to the body in this direction, if it is rotating, won't there be a tangential acceleration for the rotating body? Formula R alpha. Isn't there an alpha? Yes sir, there is an alpha. Angular acceleration is there. If there is an angular acceleration, there is a tangential acceleration also. So for this body which is rotating like this, also associated with a tangential acceleration in the upward direction. Formula R alpha. The tangential acceleration, which we know that R alpha from our circular motion chapter, right, will be there in the upward direction. Yes or a no? Bol de. Ha sir, ha. Now is there a possibility for the point O, which we in this point, which is touching the inclined surface, to have an acceleration of 0, so that it can be pure rolling motion? Yes sir, yes. In which case, if the downward acceleration of the center of mass, ये acceleration downward, is equal to upward R alpha. Now understood? Now understood how this accelerated rolling motion can be a pure rolling motion whenever the net acceleration of the point which is touching this inclined surface is 0, and that will happen when the acceleration of the center of mass is equal to R alpha. When the acceleration of the center of mass is equal to R alpha. Is it clear till this part? मेरा बच्चा लोग बता दे, अच्छे से बता. Is it clear? Is this concept clear till this part without any doubt? अच्छे से, with a smile on your faces. बिल्कुल. हाँ हाँ सर बिल्कुल, क्यों नहीं, अच्छे से समझ में आ गया. So if a question pop-ups for Menti tomorrow, are you all going to answer yes or no? Yes. ठीक है, बढ़िया बात है. Yes, Myara, Sankamitra, Ridhima, Anupam, Annie. Yes, very good. Okay, now we understood for this to be a pure rolling motion, though there is acceleration of the center of mass should be equal to R alpha. Yes or no? So can I substitute for this alpha here so that I'll get the net acceleration of the body? Can I? Yes sir, you can do that. So ये बीच का लाइन कौन कर दिया? ये लाइन कौन कर दिया? हमको नहीं चाहिए, है ना? हमको नहीं चाहिए तो नहीं चाहिए. So I'm going to write this F is equal to I, which is equal to mk square, moment of inertia mk square, right? This R will come down by R. Alpha is equal to, from here alpha is equal to A by R. A by R. What did I do? I just have rearranged so that I can get an equation for frictional force, which I can substitute it here and find out the value for acceleration. Bas. है ना? Okay. Now I know that many of you might be thinking, sir, why we have to find the F value, which is the frictional value, in all this way? Why can't we use the value for frictional value force as a mu times n, mu times the normal force? अरे याद कर ले, I explained you when can we use that formula of mu times n. कब use कर सकता है? That is the maximum value of frictional force that is available between the surface. It is not necessary that the maximum value of frictional force will be used all the time. Frictional force is always a self-adjusting force. So the frictional force value will be used according to the requirement. So that's why for frictional force we are not using the formula of what? Mu times n. समझ में आ गया, I suppose. Can I substitute this F here in this equation? Lack of space, I'm going to write it in the next equation, which will be next page. What was the formula? mg sine theta minus F is equal to MA. This is equal to mg sine theta minus mk square by r square A. We already have, I hope you do remember, those who want to have a look at the equation again, mk square A by r square. Mk square A by r square is equal to MA. Rearranging again, mg sine theta is equal to, taking this to the right hand side of the equation and taking MA as common, how much will it be? MA 1 plus, once it moved to the right, plus remaining k square by r square. Done? Those who want to make small changes, you can multiply the numerator and denominator with m. So, m cancel, acceleration is equal to g sine theta by 1 plus, ये तो नीचा ऐसे ही आ जाएगा. What is mk square? I by m r square. This is the equation for an accelerated pure rolling motion which is accelerating over a inclined surface. ये तो clear है? It is so much important. I don't want any one of you to forget, and I don't want anyone not to write this particular equation in your paper. Everyone please do write this equation. बहुत और भी बहुत important equation. Acceleration is equal to g sine theta divided by 1 plus I divided by mr square. Jaldi, Maddox Queen clear? Miara yes. Pal yes. Arpan. Okay, very good, very good. This is it. यही होता है. This is the hard work and this is what giving your complete concentration for learning. Sir, speak a bit louder. इससे ज़्यादा कैसे कर सकता हूँ मुझे? जितना मुझे आता है बहुत ज़ोर से कर रहा हूँ मैं. Okay, so we got the equation for acceleration. Please do by heart. G sine theta by 1 plus I by mr square. Once more, acceleration is g sine theta by 1 plus I by mr square. Once again, acceleration is g sine theta by 1 plus I by mr square. Bas. Now, can we also find an equation for f? Is it possible? What was the value for f? देख ले. F was equal to m k square by r square into a. Yes or a no? Yes sir, bilkul. Now if you want, you can make a small rearrangements to this, right? So this will be m k square by r square. What is a? G sine theta divided by 1 plus I by mr square. I divided by mr square. Okay, so again we can make some small rearrangements ऐसे. How is it possible? How is it possible? So I'm going to take mk square है ना down. So this will be g sine theta r square by mk square 1 plus I divided by mr square. Okay, multiplying m again on the numerator and denominator. So two changes. So what will be the final equation? mg sine theta mr square by mk square. What is mk square? I, right? So what will happen? mr square by mk square will be multiplied inside with 1. So that will be mr square by mk square is I plus mr square plus mk square multiplied by I by mr square. Cancel हो जाएगा. What it remains is 1. Which means थोड़ा equation, which means here we have 1 plus I by mr square, and for the equation of frictional force mg sine theta by 1 plus, it is not I by mr square by I. Bas. Clear? Clear. But sir, what is a but? mg sin theta mr square. Oh, you can write it anyway, right? In NCERT book, you will find the same equation written in terms of k. Okay, how will you write the same equation with k, which is the radius of gyration? You can expand for I as mk square. So m and m will cancel. You will have the equation as k square by r square. You need to learn any of the formulas and you should also be knowing how to simplify. बस और कुछ नहीं करना है. तो बिल्कुल बढ़िया इधर तक, कोई गड़बड़ नहीं, अच्छे से. You all understood in a very amazing manner. बोल दे हाँ सर बिल्कुल, बहुत बढ़िया, अच्छे से समझ में आ गया है ना. So shall we start doing the problems? कर सकता है. Okay, so हम जा रहे questions करने के लिए. कर ले. Okay. In the figure shown, figure matlab the same figure which we were discussing till now. We are having an inclined surface. We are having a body which is rotating. Okay. M is mass of the body, R its radius, and I the moment of inertia about an axis passing through the center. Find the force of friction acting on the body upwards. Its linear acceleration is A down and the type of motion if. The question is to find the value of F, which means the force of friction, if mu is equal to 0. What was the actual formula? The maximum value of a frictional force is mu times n. है ना? If mu itself is 0, this is the maximum value. And mu defines how harder or how rough the surfaces are. है ना? If mu is equal to 0, matlab the surfaces are smooth. If I write with a red color, ऐसे हो जाएगा. Surface is smooth. If the surface is smooth, what you can say? हाँ, frictional force will be 0. Frictional force will be 0. If there is no frictional force, what will be the kind of motion this spherical body will be having? Can it rotate? Array, for the body to rotate, we know that this frictional force will be there, and it is this frictional force which is rotating, है ना? So if frictional force is 0, no rotation will be there. We already have learned, right? And what is the only kind of motion the body will be having? Because of the component of its weight mg sin theta, this body will be dragged down along this inclined surface. So yes, it is going to be a translational motion if the frictional force acting on the body is equal to 0. बस समझ में आ गया? It's not a big deal to understand this. We already have discussed. Frictional force is not there, it cannot rotate the body. If it cannot rotate the body will be just dragged down. With which force? With the component of its weight mg sin theta. बस तो बस उतना ही है. So yes, is the entire concept clear to everyone in the classroom, or do you want to do one more question? एक और क्वेश्चन करना है? जल्दी से बोल दे. Do you want to do one more question? थोड़ा it is a bit tough, but still anyway we'll do it. Huh? Okay. So we'll do. So everyone, I want the complete concentration here, everyone, so that we can understand this, and within 5 minutes we can complete this question. देख ले. A tangential force acts at the top of a thin spherical shell. It is a shell, spherical shell. I'll write now itself the formula for I. 2 by 3 mr square. Holosphere, moment of inertia, mass m, radius r. Find the acceleration of the shell if it's rolled without slipping. This is not at all the case of inclined surface. This is a different complete equation. So don't use the formula which we have derived. Okay. That's why I tell you, always learn any concept in physics by understanding the concept. Don't just by heart. कुछ नहीं मिलेगा. No answer you will be getting if you just by heart. देख ले. Now tell me which all are the forces that can act on this body. One, an external force. And what will it try to do? It will try to rotate the body ऐसे in clockwise direction. And if this is a rough surface, what will happen? The frictional force will be acting in the opposite direction to the tendency of the motion. It has a tendency to rotate like this. So frictional force will be acting in the forward direction. Now we know the forces acting. You just need to write down the equations of net force and net torque. Answer ऐसे ही आ जाएगा. Shall we? Net force is equal to mass into acceleration. Which are the forces acting? Capital F plus small f. F plus small f is equal to mass into acceleration first. Done. Then, अरे rotate भी कर रहा है, write the equation of net torque is equal to I alpha. है ना? And we already know for this to be a pure rolling, acceleration of center of mass should be equal to R alpha. I am writing it here, which we already have learned, where we can use it anywhere when we discuss about pure rolling motion. ठीक है? Acceleration of center of mass is R alpha. Which all forces are giving the torque? Isn't this giving a torque? Yes or no? What the formula for torque? R cross the perpendicular force F. So it is trying to rotate in which direction? Clockwise. So RF ऐसे. And what about the frictional force? It is giving the force in this direction or trying to rotate in the opposite direction. So what is its torque? R cross small f, but it is trying to rotate in the opposite direction. So minus RF is equal to, net torque is equal to I 2 by 3 mr square alpha A by R. ठीक है? Understood? Taking this R as common and multiplying this with the denominator, what will you get? Capital F minus small f is equal to 2 by 3 ma, numerator R square by R. This will also come down. The denominator will become R square cancel and it will be disappearing. ठीक है? So F plus F is equal to ma, F minus F is equal to 2 by 3 ma. What do you need to find out? Acceleration. कैसे? Look into the equation 1 and 2. Look also into the option. The final answer is in terms of capital F. You don't need small f. So what will you do? Add the equation 1 and 2. Add कर ले. Left hand side plus f. Left hand side minus f. Cancel हो जाएगा. What is remaining? Capital F plus capital F. That is 2f. Okay. Right hand side ma plus 2 by 3 ma. So how much it is? 1 plus 2 by 3 is 5 by 3. 5 by 3 ma. Acceleration is equal to 6 by 5 f by m. ऐसा option है? हाँ. Option है. This is our answer. And this is it. और कुछ नहीं. Is it done? Everyone understood? Song, अरे यार मुझे थोड़ा खाना भी चाहिए, मुझे 10 बजे क्लास भी एक और. Is it clear? Everyone, please do note it down. Okay, very important, super important. Annie is back. Good to have Annie in the classroom, Annie. Good to have you here. And now let me tell you for 12th standard topics, we are having Wednesday 2 classes are there. Special classes on capacitors at 5 p.m. and on EMI at 6:30. 2 special classes are happening on these 2 days on Wednesday, which is 29th. So those who want to learn capacitors and EMI, come and enroll for the course in the Unacademy app, which is totally free. Those who don't know how to make the enrollment, go to Unacademy Learning app, download the app, log into the app, okay, and click on the menu button which you can see on the top left and click on special. Then search for my courses such as capacitors and EMI, which is actually written as Lenz's law. Okay, you will find it, and the invite code which you have to apply is AMB10. Use kar le, get into the class, and let's all learn together these two topics. Fine. And those who are here who haven't liked the classroom, jaldi se like kar le. And these are the new batches which have started. Those who want to join, jaldi se join kar sakta hai. Okay, and yes. Thank you so much everyone for being here and making the class awesome. And those who haven't liked the session, jaldi se like kar le. And apply the code of AMB10 if you make any subscription. Okay, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you will get notifications whenever new classes or videos is being uploaded. Thank you so much once again for making this class so wonderful and amazing. So, me signing out with Unacademy. Let's crack it. Bye everyone. Take care. Tomorrow, come prepared for the mentee. We will rock it together.